means that the person is covering up something or lacks confidence. The next one is arms crossed on chest. When you stand like this, it shows that you are in a defensive position. If somebody is talking something to you and you don't like it, and you cross your arms over your chest, so it's better not to stand that matter. But again, I tell you, most of the body language things are unconscious, but you can sometimes make it conscious also for your better development, to have a positive image. Now next is about the position. So now we have seen the eyes, the posture, the hands. Next is the positions, your sitting position, your standing position. The first thing is mirroring. What is mirroring is, you know that if you stand in front of a mirror, it will show your reflection. If somebody is mirroring your posture, look at these leaders here. Say the persons have the same similar posture, similar sitting posture. So if you mirror another person's posture, it means that you people agree with something, okay, and you want to establish a rapport. So this you can positively utilize in your day-to-day lives. If you want to make a rapport, establish a rapport, you have to make somebody else agree with you, and you want to make believe that they are in the same route. You can mirror their posture. So they subconsciously will understand that, okay, the other person is agreeing with me, only for the good purpose, okay. And another thing is, if you cover your mouth with hand and scratch your nose every now and then, it means that you are lying, you are making up things. Okay, so don't do it very often. Why is it like psychologically the effect will come into the physical being? If you are lying, your body will send signal saying that your nose is tingling, or your ear is tingling, or your mouth is tingling. So your hands automatically will come there and it will make an impression. So a good body language reader will understand that you are sensing this particular emotion. Hands touching the neck or back of your ears, it seems that you are bored. So if your hand is at present like this, it shows that you are a little bored. So be aware of all these things. And sitting in sprinter's position, sitting on edge of chair, like if you are really interested, you will come forward and sit a little tilted towards front and at the edge of the chair or wherever your seat is. So that shows that the cooperation, that is, you are ready to listen and it's really interesting, you are interested in the topic. So to sum it up all, let's see a video. So I think that was quite clear. Some points have been repeated here. And some new things are there. So from here we can understand that there is much more to body language. There are, tiny million things about body language which you can observe, understand and make improvements. Some are given here, the major things are given here. Now you can adapt your knowledge through reference books and online materials. So next we are going to our third session of the day, that is the theories of personality development. Now this could the table given here could be a little confusing for you. There are so much things given here. There is psychoanalytic approach, Sigmund Freud's, and neo-psychoanalytic approach that is his disciples have come up with. Then the lifespan, genetics, humanistic, cognitive, behavioral and social learning approach. And still new approaches are coming up through the behavioral scientists and psychologists. So for our easy understanding, I put them under 4 different approaches: psychoanalytic approach, trait approach, humanistic approach and cognitive social learning approach. Psychoanalytic approach, in one sentence, one clause, if you are saying, it talks about the unconscious motivations for the manifestation of the personality. Why your personality is based on the unconscious structure you have made throughout your childhood. That is what psychoanalytic theory talks about. Trait approach is about that there are different traits, different attributes, different dimensions of personality, and there be main traits, submissive traits, cardinal traits. So accordingly your personality changes. So that is the trait approach. Humanistic approach is the most mellowed down, most loving approach, I would say. It believes in the inner capacity for growth. That is, humans are, by birth, they have the capacity for growing, for developing themselves. Then the most recent is the cognitive social learning approach. This is more practical. That is, it almost combines all the approaches, saying that personality can be developed and enhanced from the outside factors as well as your own cognition, that is your thinking, your intellect. That is the cognitive social learning approach. So let's look at Sigmund Freud's psychoanalysis. Now this is a little bit interesting because Freud says that your personality is based on all the unconscious dynamics, unconscious processes that is going within the individual, and it emphasizes the internal conflicts, attachments you have with others and your motivations, for what reason you are doing the action. Baseline is all the adult personalities, that is the personality we have now, are formed by the experiences in the early childhood. That was Freud says, okay. Sigmund Freud, he was a very famous psychiatrist. Now whatever theories he has propounded, everything is based on the psychoanalytic processes he has done on others, like hypnotism and all. They used to do it in the for the high society ladies. So whatever they say in their hypnotic state, he used to write it down, make it a theory. Thus this theory has evolved. It always operates on the pleasure principle. That is, whatever thing give you pleasure, happiness, joy, you will continue doing the same thing. That is the main basic principle, and it is very primitive also, and your basic need is taken into consideration. And he says that in life you have only 2 competing instincts. That is the libido, that is sexual oriented energy, and the death, that is the aggressive energy. So these 2 energies are forming your whole personality. That's what Freud wanted to say. And he has given more importance to the unconscious factor. If you see here, there are many things, so we don't have to look at all these things. You just see these 3 levels. That is, the conscious level is what we are now outside. unconscious level, it may not be known to us, but it's accumulated from our birth till this stage. And in between there is a pre-conscious level. Okay, pre-conscious level, you can take it out. The memories, the stored knowledge, everything, you can take it out. And this tip of the iceberg is formed by all these things, the basis here. So what Freud basically says is, what you see outside is only the tip of the iceberg. Everything lies inside. From this, your personality comes out. This is what Freud says. And he has talked about the moral conscience also. He says that your moral conscience develops around age 5. It's called as phallic stage. So that we'll see in the next slide. It starts from childhood, and it tells you what to do, what not to do. And there are 2 subsystems and all. And 3 important things, personality he has given is the id, ego and superego. Id is the very basic character you have. When nobody is around, you are id. Okay, id may have, it is like the negative energy in your life, you can just say. And whereas superego is what all the moral conscience you have, all your parents have said, this is good, or teachers have given you, your good friends have given you, what is good, what is bad and all. So that moral conscience is the superego. Superego is kind of an angel. So ego is the you who fights in between these two. So ego decides what to take. So this is the basic concept of Freud's conception of human psyche. He says that human psyche is like this. And all your unconscious is controlling the id. Sometimes may control this ego. Now ego is free floating. Ego can go anywhere because that is your self, which is externally seen. Now accordingly, Freud has said your personality changes from stages to stage. So there is oral stage, like birth to 18 months. There is anal stage till 3 years, and phallic stage is till 5 or 6 years. Latency is 6 to puberty, and genital is puberty onwards. So if you see here, it's all based on your physical organs and your sexuality. So that's why this theory is condemned nowadays, because a person is not completely evaluated based on his birth. He can still change. It's dynamic, as we've seen. So he says that fixation, there is a term used as fixation. Fixation occurs when the conflicts at a given stage aren't resolved successfully. Okay, for smoking and all, there is a reason. If you go to Freud, the reason is like this: oral stage, you were not satisfied enough when you were a small baby. That's why you smoke. Okay, so that is the theory he is giving. This is the many stages of personality given by Freud. Now, based on this, Freud's daughter, Anna Freud, has given some defense mechanism. When something is not there, what are things we do? We repress things, we regress things, displacement, sublimation, reaction formation. This is the way you defend something. For example, if you are angry at somebody at workplace, or your boss is angry on you and scolds you, when you come home, your children may be doing some small things, but you will get angry on them. You may beat them. You say, what is it? I'm not able to work properly in the office, and here too I don't have a peace of mind. So that is called as displacement. Okay, that is somewhere else you have some emotion, but there you cannot express it. You come somewhere else and express it. So like this,